Welcome to StarryCast with Vera and Theo.
Hello, everyone. This week, we're diving into the astrological currents for May 26th through to June 1st, 2025.
We've gathered insights on the key planetary shifts happening, and our goal is to really unpack what they might mean for all of us.
That's right. We want to explore the opportunities, maybe some of the challenges, based purely on the patterns unfolding in the cosmos this week.
So let's get started. What's the general feel of the week? What's the overarching energy?
Well, the general consensus points towards a pretty positive and active week. It feels like a distinct shift, especially if the previous period felt a bit heavy or difficult.
Okay, a shift sounds good. Active in what way?
Active in terms of new beginnings, movement, communication. Some perspectives even describe this as potentially the most positive stretch of 2025 so far. A time for good news, maybe seeing more smiles around.
That's a really optimistic forecast. What's driving this positivity? Any major celestial events?
Absolutely. The main event, really the centerpiece, is the new moon in Gemini on May 27th.
Gemini, okay. Communication, ideas.
Exactly. It's all about fresh starts in those Gemini domains. Communication, learning, news, short journeys, connecting ideas. Now, there's a tiny variation on the exact degree. Some say 6 degrees, others mention 27, but the core theme is consistently new beginnings.
How strong is this new moon expected to be?
It's described as pretty powerful, capable of kicking off some significant changes, particularly in how we communicate, or maybe even leading to fated meetings or information coming to light.
Interesting. And does it have a smooth feeling, or are there bumps?
That's where we see a bit of nuance. One angle suggests it's relatively smooth, no hard angles, which implies easier integration compared to some recent lunations.
Okay.
But another perspective notes a square aspect to the nodes, specifically looking at the Ankara chart, suggesting that managing things under this influence might actually be quite challenging from that viewpoint.
So potential for ease, but also maybe some underlying tension depending on how you look at it or where you are. Makes sense.
Precisely. And adding to this Gemini focus, Mercury, Gemini's ruler, makes a key move this week.
Ah, right. Mercury's changing signs.
Yes, Mercury moves into Gemini on May 26th. And when Mercury is in its home sign, it's supercharged.
So even more emphasis on communication, thinking.
Exactly. Expect quicker thinking, more curiosity, a desire to learn, connect, maybe travel more. We might find ourselves becoming more adaptable, better at finding solutions.
Sounds productive. How does Mercury interact with other planets once it's settled into Gemini?
Almost immediately on the 26th, it forms a sextile that's a supportive aspect to both Saturn and Neptune.
Saturn and Neptune. Structure and dreams.
Kind of, yeah. The interpretations link this to activating our imagination, but also finding ways to make those dreams tangible, taking responsibility. It might play out in societal discussions, maybe progress on international agreements or legal matters.
So practical magic, almost. Grounding the ethereal.
That's a nice way to put it. Then on the 27th, Mercury makes a trine, another harmonious aspect of Pluto.
Mercury-Pluto. That sounds intense. Powerful communication.
Very powerful. The potential for deep insights, influential conversations, getting to the heart of a matter. But there's also a shadow side flagged here.
Oh, like what?
Potential for manipulation or information being used deceptively. There's this energy of secrets potentially surfacing, like, aha, you see what really happened?
Yeah.
The advice is pretty clear. Be discerning. Verify information, especially anything you come across online or through the grapevine.
Okay, so potent communication, but with a need for critical thinking. Got it. What else is Mercury up to? I think there's a conjunction with the Sun.
Yes, towards the end of the week, on May 30th, Mercury meets the Sun. Now, interpretations diverge quite a bit here.
How so?
One traditional view sees Mercury as being burnt or combust when so close to the Sun. This perspective anticipates potential glitches, communication breakdowns, traffic issues, delivery delays, maybe even tech outages or sudden weather shifts.
Potential snags, then. What's the alternative view?
The other perspective sees this conjunction, especially the moments closest to exact alignment, as incredibly potent for something else entirely. Manifestation, setting intentions, planting seeds for new ideas, making wishes, particularly in the morning hours of the 30th. One view gives a specific time, around 7:12 a.m., calling it Isref Sati, or the heart of the sun, a prime moment for focusing your intentions. Even if it's not technically a perfect Kazimi, it's seen as highly beneficial.
Wow, that's a stark contrast. Disruption versus peak manifestation power. Really highlights how different astrological lenses can interpret the same event.
It really does. It reminds us there isn't always just one single meaning.
Okay, shifting focus a bit. What about Venus? What's her story this week?
Venus gets involved right at the end of our time frame on June 1st. She forms a conjunction with Chiron, the wounded healer.
Venus, Chiron. That usually touches on relationships, right? And self-worth.
Exactly. Those are the key themes highlighted. Relationships, healing, and our sense of value. It's described as having a dual potential.
Dual how?
It could be a time for profound healing within relationships, mending old wounds, or conversely, it could be a point where relationships or connections that are causing pain might finally be severed. A time for difficult truths, perhaps.
Makes sense. And on a more personal level, for the individual.
It brings those self-worth issues right to the surface. Feelings of not being good enough. Interestingly, one perspective mentions aesthetic procedures potentially being considered or done around this time, perhaps linked to addressing those feelings.
Right. Trying to heal the outside to match the inside, or vice versa. And on a larger scale in world astrology.
This conjunction is sometimes linked to potential challenges or harm involving prominent female figures, or perhaps strategic decisions being made that have a sort of warrior energy, maybe tough choices in diplomacy or finance.
Got it. Are there any other major players we should be aware of this week? Jupiter, maybe?
Yes. Jupiter is still in Gemini, which is generally seen as bringing luck, expansion, and opportunities, especially in communication, learning, and connections. One specific note points to Jupiter being in a financial house for Taurus right now, potentially bringing monetary benefits for them. And Jupiter is moving towards Cancer, which will be a bigger story next month.
And Saturn, still in Aries.
Still in Aries for now, yes.
Right.
This is described as a bit of a transition phase. Saturn in Aries can ease pressure for Gemini, but it brings lessons and responsibilities for the cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn.
Lessons around.
Self-assertion, independence, maybe dealing with authority. One note flags potential challenges with authority figures, especially for Cancers born in June as summer progresses. But remember, Saturn dips back into Pisces in September, so this Aries energy is temporary for now.
Okay. What about Mars? Where is the planet of action?
Mars is currently in Leo. This puts energy and focus on creativity, self-expression, romance, and perhaps leadership for Leo personally. For Scorpio, it's highlighted as being in the 10th house, maybe indicating pressure from bosses or a drive for career recognition.
And any wider implications mentioned for Mars and Leo?
One perspective applies it to the chart for Turkey, suggesting potential for internal unrest, maybe an increase in crime or issues in sectors like mining or agriculture. It also mentions a Mars-Neptune connection impacting Turkey's chart, hinting at potential issues with neighbors, unreliable news, media complexities, or even health concerns in nearby regions. Again, reporting these specific interpretations as found.
Understood. And finally, Uranus, still shaking things up in Taurus.
Still slowly moving through Taurus, yes. It's getting closer to its exit in July. One interpretation specifically links Uranus's eventual move out of Taurus to significant future financial gains for Taurus individuals, so that's something they might be anticipating.
Okay, that gives us a really solid map of the key planetary movements. So, stepping back, what does all this mean for the collective energy? What are the big themes emerging for everyone this week?
Well, the absolute dominant theme is information. The sheer speed and volume of it. Gemini energy, amplified by Mercury and Jupiter, means news, ideas, data, gossip. It's all flowing incredibly fast.
Which sounds exciting, but maybe overwhelming.
Both. It's highlighted as a double-edged sword. Huge potential for brilliant insights, great connections, learning amazing things. But just as much potential for misinformation, misunderstandings, rumors spreading like wildfire, even deliberate deception.
So discernment is key.
Absolutely critical. Verify things before you believe them, and definitely before you share them. The shadow side mentioned includes risks like cybersecurity issues, hacking, data leaks, and also potential for fraud or theft. Being mindful of scams is important.
Right. Stay alert online and with financial dealings. What about actual physical movement, travel?
Expect increased activity there, too. More travel, more commuting, maybe discussions about new transportation rules or infrastructure projects kicking off. But keep in mind that Mercury-Sun conjunction around May 30th.
Ah, yes. The potential for glitches. So maybe allow extra travel time around then?
Probably wise based on that interpretation. Delays or unexpected hiccups are more possible.
And the political or legal sphere? Any themes emerging there?
Discussions around laws, new agreements, treaties, especially international ones, seem likely to be in focus. There's also mention of potential financial or political corruption coming to light, possibly linked to that building Jupiter-Neptune square, even though it's not exact until June.
So things bubbling under the surface might emerge.
Could be. Hidden agendas, secret negotiations, that kind of thing. Sectors like hospitals, prisons, charities, big pharma, oil, even livestock management might see some focus or developments, especially highlighted in one analysis focusing on the Turkey chart.
Okay. And what about the general mood? Is it optimistic or are there warnings?
It's mixed. As we said, some interpretations paint a generally positive picture, more optimism. But others strike a cautionary note, warning about potential public psychological stress, maybe people feeling overly self-sacrificing, or even that mentioned uptick in crime or potential unrest in specific areas based on the Turkey chart analysis.
Any other potential global events flagged?
One perspective mentions May 28th specifically as a date with potential for protests or even geophysical events like earthquakes or volcanic activity. Financial markets are also mentioned, with potential turbulence noted for the U.S. market, the Dow Jones, and possible knock-on effects for indices like the BIS 100. Just reporting these points, definitely not investment advice.
Understood. And were specific countries or regions highlighted as being particularly sensitive to these energies?
Yes, quite a few were mentioned across the different perspectives we looked at. These include Australia, Turkey, Germany, Israel, France, the Netherlands, Europe more broadly, Azerbaijan, the UK, India, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan.
Okay, quite a list.
And also Seattle, Vancouver, Portland in North America. Then Georgia, Armenia, Iran, Cairo, Sudan, Uganda, Tanzania, Mozambique, Johannesburg, and also Taiwan and China. Just listing them as they appeared in the material.
That provides a very broad context. So, turning personal now, how can individuals best navigate this week? What's the practical advice?
The general guidance really leans into the Gemini energy. Embrace communication. Be open to learning new things. Reach out. Make new connections. It's a good time for intellectual pursuits.
But with that caveat about information overload.
Exactly. Be curious, but also be critical. Verify information before you absorb it or pass it on. Focus your mind on positive affirmations and intentions. Try to consciously steer away from negativity. And listen to your intuition, your gut feelings. They can be a good guide through the noise.
That makes sense. Any more specific, actionable advice?
Yes, one interpretation offers very specific guidance, particularly for May 28th. This source describes it as a remarkably lucky day, a rare 48-year window linked to a fixed star they named Betulki.
Wow, 48 years. What are you supposed to do?
The main suggestion is quite symbolic. Plant 7 wheat grains per person in your household for luck and abundance. Specific timings are even given for different regions. For Turkey, 16.0000 18.31. Europe, 15.000 17.31. Azerbaijan, 17.0000 day 19.31. The UK, 14.00 16.31. This is very specific information from one particular source.
Planting wheat grains. Fascinating. Any other actions for this lucky May 28th?
Yes, that same source suggests it's a great day to initiate anything you want to imbue with luck. Opening new bank accounts, getting point-of-sale devices for a business, launching social media channels.
Okay, practical starts.
Also, helping women, girls, or animals is highlighted with the idea that unexpected help or good ideas might come from women on this day. Paying off debts is encouraged with the belief they'll clear quickly. And finally, downloading or sharing the symbol of the Hand of Fatima is suggested for protection.
That's a very detailed set of recommendations for one day. What about manifestation? You mentioned the Mercury-Sun conjunction on the 30th.
Right. That's pinpointed as a key time for manifestation work, especially the morning hours. Focus intensely on your goals, wishes, plans, career, personal life, anything. Speak them out loud. Write them down with intention. Even though it might not be a technically perfect Kazemi, it's viewed as a very potent window for setting things in motion energetically.
Good to know. Any final general tips for the week?
If the fast pace and information overload feel like too much, remember to ground yourself. Simple things: walk barefoot on grass, spend time in nature, touch soil. And with that Venus-Chiron conjunction happening around June 1st, consciously working on self-worth issues is also really beneficial advice.
Okay, great advice. That covers the general picture, the collective themes, and the practical tips. Shall we move into the zodiac specifics?
Yes, let's dive into how these energies might play out for each sign, based purely on the interpretations we've gathered. This is where you can really tune in for insights relevant to your own chart.
Excellent. Let's start with Aries.
Okay, Aries. For you, this week looks like a real communication explosion. Think increased travel, signing agreements, maybe getting support from people in charge or those with influence.
Sounds busy. Any financial nets?
Yes, opportunities are flagged for May 31st and June 1st, potentially involving siblings, closing deals, or trade. It's described as a very talkative week for you overall. May 28th looks particularly good for written agreements or maybe buying or selling a vehicle.
And that May 28th lucky window, anything specific for Aries?
The advice is really about mindset. That day, focus hard on positive affirmations. Avoid negativity, arguments, anger. It's crucial. Then, later in the week, May 31st, June 1st, showcasing your talents could bring success. Use that sharp Aries intellect.
Is there a sense of moving past old stuff?
Yes, there's a feeling you can overcome issues lingering from March or April. The main message is, be present. Grab the opportunities this week brings. Watch out early in the week, though potential for a bit of emotional or financial wobbliness is mentioned, linked to the moon squaring Mars. Try not to let gossip or outside interference throw you off course.
Got it. Moving on to Taurus.
All right, Taurus. For you, the focus is heavily on finances. The sense is that blockages are clearing, opening paths for new income, new deals, new agreements. Money could flow quite quickly.
So, good time for financial action.
Definitely. Collaboration, important discussions, project launches, getting signatures all supported. Your network is strong right now. With Jupiter, the Sun, and Mercury lighting up your money house, and Pluto aspecting your career zone, significant financial gains are definitely on the cards.
So pay attention to opportunities.
Every single call, every meeting, every potential agreement holds value. Stay involved. On the healing front, with Venus Chiron, transformation comes through kindness and empathy. Old hurts, maybe betrayals, can find resolution now. Your natural courage and leadership qualities emerge.
Sounds like growth on multiple levels.
Yes, expect increased earnings, an expanding social circle, progress on work projects. And remember Uranus getting ready to leave your sign. That signals potentially even bigger financial shifts for you down the line. Use May 28th for those lucky financial steps, opening accounts, maybe diversifying into different currencies or gold.
Any family aspects?
Evaluate financial matters with family around May 31st, June 1st. But be aware of potential tension on June 1st. Stay calm and keep those positive financial affirmations going.
Okay, makes sense. Now for Gemini.
Gemini. Well, this week is pretty much all about you. The spotlight is firmly on your sign with the new moon, Mercury, and Jupiter all gathering there.
Sounds like a lot of energy.
It is. Expect supercharged communication, lots of movement, maybe travel. Relationships are highlighted for improvement. Big decisions about marriage, significant meetings about partnerships could happen. Health matters might improve, or you could take decisive action related to your well-being.
That lucky May 28th, how does it affect Gemini?
It's described as especially fortunate for you regarding relationships, health initiatives, and any steps towards marriage or commitment. Life feels like it's speeding up. Just a small note of caution with social media around June 1st. Maybe double-check posts or be mindful of online interactions then.
So mostly positive, but accelerating.
Very positive, yes. Important news or breakthrough ideas could bring major changes. It's framed as a genuinely lucky, abundant time. One perspective even suggests trying your luck with games on the 28th. Just watch your energy levels around June 1st. Don't burn out. Old blockages feel like they're lifting, perhaps connected to Saturn's position.
What should Gemini focus on?
Preparing for important life events seems key. Be ready for surprising news early in the week. While relationship tensions aren't impossible, try to handle any family issues, health, finances, inheritance, calmly if they pop up. Embrace your individuality in your career. And if it all feels a bit much, ground yourself. Get back to basics.
Good advice for managing high energy. Let's talk about Cancer.
Cancer. Your intuition gets a big thumbs up this week, especially around May 26th. Trust those gut feelings. There's a lot of information flowing your way, potentially resolving issues with siblings if there have been any.
And spiritually.
It's a time for self-discovery, feeling a sense of divine protection. The new moon falls in your 12th house of secrets and the subconscious. This could bring fated encounters, maybe even revealing hidden opposition or enemies. But the outlook is that you'll navigate this advantageously if you stay calm.
Okay, so stay centered. What about practical matters?
Health is a focus on May 28th. Good day for checkups. Following medical advice. Spiritual nourishment is important to address things causing underlying stress. Work matters could see a positive shift around the 28th as well. And watch for financial changes around May 31st, June 1st.
Any financial cautions?
Yes, be mindful of an urge to splurge around June 1st. Try to resist impulse buys. On the plus side, unexpected money could arrive, or you might find it easier to collect money owed to you.
And career.
Career themes involve individualism, freedom, maybe taking new steps, linked to various planetary connections. There's potential for healing past work-related hurts, especially involving female figures. Collaboration with women looks positive. Financial pressures ease, and legal matters could bring relief or expansion.
Anything to be cautious about.
With Mercury in your 12th house, maybe hold back on sharing your deepest plans or secrets just now. Gossip about you is a possibility, so maintain discretion. Your partner might be dealing with their own issues. And finally, practice gratitude. It amplifies the good outcomes.
Wise words. Moving on to Leo.
Leo, the feeling is you're coming out of a bit of a tough patch, maybe something that started late last year. This week brings support for resolving problems. A specific tip for June 1st. Stay calm. Avoid anger, especially in meetings or relationships.
Opportunities coming up.
Yes, but they need careful thought before you jump in. Your social life, however, looks incredibly active. New friends, romantic sparks, especially May 31st, June 1st, which is highlighted as a time you can meet someone really suitable for a long-term relationship. Get out there and socialize.
So connecting is key.
Absolutely. Donating to charity on May 28th is suggested, symbolically linked to attracting supportive people and expanding your social circle. This week is described as genuinely lucky and abundant for you. One perspective even said it's the first truly positive forecast for Leo in over 6 months.
Wow, that's significant, especially for single Leos.
Yes, love looks very possible for singles. Your friends and social network are where opportunities arise with this new moon. Maybe new business ideas or projects with pals. Making decisions with friends is favored on May 28th.
Any potential dips?
Be aware of maybe feeling a bit drained or emotionally taxed around May 29th, 30th. Gossip or slander is a slight risk, possibly even legal issues around work or fairness. Stay cautious and calm if anything like that arises.
And career focus.
Strong career focus, high energy. Share your ideas. Friends can offer support or gains. Your partner's connections might also be helpful. Use May 30th for manifesting your goals. Taking some quiet time, maybe meditating on Thursday, Friday, could be beneficial before an expected fun weekend.
Sounds like a much-needed positive turn for Leo. What about Virgo?
Virgo, there's a sense of relief for you too, especially if you've been dealing with anxiety, fears, or health worries recently. Career progress is a major theme this week, alongside positive news on the family front.
Career progress like?
Business agreements getting signed, important meetings happening, deals moving forward. Good news might also arrive concerning your siblings' careers. May 28th is flagged as your lucky day for job applications, launching new business ventures, or any career moves. Big career luck is emphasized.
That sounds promising. Any cautions?
Watch out for potential tension or irritability around June 1st. Don't get drawn into anger. Unexpected career surprises are possible, could be good news, could be tech glitches. Stay adaptable. Financial luck is rated as high.
What's the core advice?
Let go of pessimism. Move forward with confidence. Miracles are genuinely expected for you. The difficult past is seen as paving the way for a miraculous future. One source even suggests repeating, "How did I get so lucky?" 3 times to boost this energy.
Interesting technique. What kind of changes are coming?
A new career path, or a change in status promotion, maybe marriage, becoming a parent, gaining recognition for your work. It's a time to resolve crises. You might pay off debts or find unexpected funds for them, possibly through new financial agreements.
How does the week flow?
Early week might focus on your partner's career or public life. Later in the week, the focus shifts more to your social life and friends. Thursday, Friday look active, while the weekend might be quieter, perhaps involving travel or just some needed alone time.
Lots of positive potential for Virgo. Now for Libra.
Libra, you're likely feeling heightened awareness in your relationships due to Saturn's opposition. But the good news is you've got strong support from all the Gemini energy, which forms a helpful trine to your sign.
So support despite the relationship focus.
Yes. Legal matters should ease up. Success in studies or university is indicated. Getting visas or dealing with international work becomes easier. Help might come from your spouse's family or distant relatives. Unexpected money is also possible, often via partnerships.
Financial support specifically.
Yes, financial and moral support from your spouse's family is highlighted for May 31st, June 1st. If you're studying, expect support from teachers or supervisors. Your own mindset is key positive center. Self-talk helps you absorb knowledge now. Trust your luck. Evaluate opportunities carefully. Big, unexpected support is foreseen.
Sounds like a generally good week.
Very opportunistic, especially for air and fire signs like you. The Venus-Chiron energy brings potential for healing relationship wounds. New agreements, new partnerships look promising. Foreign travel, work opportunities abroad, news from overseas, resident citizenship matters all are activated. Stay calm through it all.
Any potential friction points?
You might feel the need to strongly defend your ideas around Tuesday, Wednesday, due to Mars. Try not to be overly pushy. Stay calm and love and public interactions. Maybe some financial worries early Monday. Focus there then. Travel desire increases with Mercury in your ninth. Education, learning, exams look good. Legal commercial activities pick up. You can resolve old disagreements legally.
Anything else?
For singles, a need for partnership might feel stronger now. Partners' connections can be helpful. Use May 30th for manifestation. Expect more public visibility Thursday, Friday. Socializing this weekend could put you in the spotlight.
Okay, Libra has lots to work with. Let's move to Scorpio.
Scorpio, health matters could see improvement this week. Positive treatment results are possible. May 28th is a good day for a checkup, potentially bringing good news. Your partner's health might also need brief attention, according to one source.
What's the main focus area?
It's heavily focused on your 8th house shared resources, intimacy, transformation. Think business partnerships, deeper friendships, but also taxes, debts, loans, inheritance, legal matters. Expect transformative events. Things might feel like a crisis initially, but lead to deep change. Mercury entering this house fuels this.
Sounds intense.
Then can be. There's a Moon-Jupiter conjunction mentioned, suggesting things expand. Try not to over-dramatize. It's framed as a new start in transformation. Healing energy is present in your workplace. You might reshape your role, create your own space, step into leadership, link to Mars and Leo in your career house.
Any potential work challenges?
Pressure from higher-ups or some anxiety around job searching is possible. Talks about real estate deals or starting a new job could happen. A financial offer or significant step seems likely. You're making decisions to build a stronger self.
What about relationships?
Changes are possible here too. Maybe ending things that aren't working. Unexpected money could come in or go out. Surgeries are mentioned as a possibility under this energy. Mental transformation, overcoming fears, is key. Work environment changes could happen. Even a job loss might paradoxically open a door.
Health again.
Health issues are possible, but seen as solvable if you seek medical advice. Family support might be available. Taking out a loan, maybe for a house purchase. Connecting 8th house credit with Pluto's influence on home is also a possibility.
So a challenging but potentially rewarding week.
Yes, it's described as having difficult energy due to that 8th house focus. But Scorpios are often comfortable with transformation. Monday emphasizes your inner world, partner details. Then Mercury Moon bring focus to shared finances, taxes, debts. Partners' financial choices matter. Health work shifts via Saturn. Interest in mystical things, manifestation on May 30th. Travel possible Thursday. You'll likely want to socialize over the weekend, not stay home.
Deep waters for Scorpio. How about Sagittarius?
Sagittarius, the new moon is opposite your sign, putting a massive focus on relationships and partnerships. Your emotional world, collaborations, friendships, love life, marriage, all are activated.
Feeling uncertain.
Potentially some uncertainty about direction or decisions, yes. But a new path or journey is very possible. It requires courage, but also caution. There might be a sense of longing, a need for inner healing. The advice is clear. Overcome the past, prioritize your freedom, don't look back.
Is change positive?
Yes, a big change is coming, and the outcome looks good. One perspective calls it a flying week for you. Just be careful not to repeat past mistakes. Saturn leaving Pisces has lifted some pressure, and the North Node in Pisces encourages looking forward. Use your intellect.
Any specific warnings?
Yes, be very careful about financial deception or illusions this week. Double-check everything money-related. Monday focuses on your job routine. Then Mercury new moon shift focus squarely onto relationships. 7th house.
What kind of relationship development?
Important decisions with a partner moving, buying property, marriage plans, starting new business partnerships or consultancy work is favored. Information flows easily, especially regarding others. International moves or work are possibilities. Love life looks good, strong connections with children too. Things shouldn't feel overly difficult.
Manifestation. Health.
Use May 30th to manifest relationship, marriage, or partnership goals. Health-wise, protect your throat early week. Watch for coughs, soreness. If traveling, be intentional about directing your energy.
Good practical tips. Let's look at Capricorn.
Capricorn, this week could bring a new job, new responsibilities, or a fresh start professionally. Finding a job or getting a promotion is well supported. Even adopting a pet is mentioned.
Health focus.
Yes, caution is advised with the new moon in your 6th house of health and routine. Particularly watch for upper respiratory issues. Working from home, changing office setups, or finding remote work are all supported.
Brilliant.
Financial strengthening is indicated, but it requires dedicated effort. There's a background focus on family, home, security, linked to Saturn's movements. Patience is key here, letting go of what doesn't serve you. You're reestablishing foundations.
And the new moon itself?
In your sixth house, it impacts work, health, daily routines. It might prompt you to finally speak up about issues you've kept buried. Responsibilities related to children are also highlighted. Expect big changes in work and love life. Be prepared.
So changes across the board.
Potentially, yes. Work environment shifts, even job change, getting approval at work. Legal or state-related matters look fortunate. Manage situations carefully. You might need to stand your ground. Written communication at work is preferred this week. Verbal exchanges could get heated. Home life changes, maybe moving, are possible.
Money and relationships.
Financial gain is possible, likely tied to work effort. Patience is needed in relationships due to Saturn and Aries. Health cautions include back pain, bone issues, heart blood pressure, especially if overworking. Slow down, relax. Family time is important. Money gained might be spent on home family. Don't overdo it.
How should Capricorn unwind?
Focus on enjoyable activities. Thursday, Friday, concerts, theater, cinema. Saturday, Sunday are for self-care, health, routine. Relationship expectations might need adjusting. Adopt a wait-and-see approach. You are supported moving forward.
Solid advice for Capricorn. How about Aquarius?
Aquarius, Monday puts the focus on home and family for you. But the main event is the new moon lighting up your fifth house. Love, romance, children, creativity, fun, luck.
Sounds positive.
Very much so. This new moon is seen as strongly supported by Pluto in your sign, suggesting transformation and change related to belonging, perhaps moving house, property matters, maybe even ownership or activities abroad. It's described as a lucky week, a time for visibility and success, especially in work career.
So time to make decisions.
Yes, new decisions about your path forward, but approach new beginnings with some caution still. An awakening around finances or support from your close circle, relatives, siblings, is possible. Falling in love is definitely highlighted.
What else does the fifth house new moon bring?
New beginnings with children, flirting, revitalizing your love life, discovering your personal power, maybe starting a business linked to a hobby, or just picking up a new enjoyable pastime. Communication, advertising, PR, marketing, social media presence, all are strongly supported and can bring success. Sibling relative topics or travel might also come up.
Any relationship advice?
Be aware you might come across as a bit demanding or insistent with your partner this week. Recognizing that and consciously working to strengthen the connection is important. Overall, happiness and contentment should be evident. It's a great week to energize your short-term plans.
Sounds like a vibrant week for Aquarius. Finally, let's turn to Pisces.
Pisces, Monday starts with a communication focus for you, but the main theme revolves around home, family, roots, foundations. Mercury enters your fourth house, and the new moon happens there too.
So big decisions about home.
Exactly. Buying, selling, renting property, moving house, renovations. Also, family matters, starting a family. Concerns about elder relatives' health, core family decisions. Financial responsibilities linked to Saturn are active now, especially concerning home and family. First payments or support might come through Monday, Tuesday.
When's the best time for those home decisions?
The advice is to wait for the new moon itself on Tuesday. Use the morning of May 30th for wishing or manifesting around home and marriage themes.
How about work?
Work and career success is possible, but there's a warning. Avoid perfectionism or a know-it-all attitude, as it could harm work relationships. Be tolerant. Health-wise, watch for fever, back pain, bone issues, heart blood pressure, especially from overwork. Slow down. Family time is needed.
Money and relationships.
Money gain is possible, perhaps spent on home or family. Again, don't overwork. Enjoyable activities are good for Thursday, Friday. Concerts, cinema. Saturday, Sunday focus on self, health, routine. In relationships, new beginnings are possible with Venus Chiron, potentially long-lasting ones. You might become aware of hidden opposition or information, but see it as strengthening. Financial support is indicated.
Any deeper insights for Pisces?
One perspective frames the new moon as pushing you out of your comfort zone to realize your potential. If dreams get challenged or people disappoint, it's seen not as bad, but as a necessary nudge if things have been too easy. Shift your perspective on difficulties.
What about Saturn in the node?
Saturn leaving Pisces brought relief. The North Node still in Pisces says, look ahead. Be clear, determined, fearless. Let go of what needs releasing. Stop repeating old patterns expecting new results. The analogy used was reheating old food. Saturn taught lessons. Now it's time to wake up and act. And like Sagittarius, be cautious about financial deception this week.
A powerful message for Pisces to end on. That completes our journey through the signs.
It does. We've covered the broad strokes, the specific planetary interactions, the collective themes, practical advice, and how it might land for each sign, all based on the perspectives we reviewed.
So, to quickly summarize the week's core energy, it really feels like a turning point driven by communication, fresh starts, and new opportunities, largely thanks to that Gemini new moon and Mercury being so strong in its home sign. The overall tone feels significantly more optimistic than recent periods.
Right. We touched on Mercury's key aspects, that potentially disruptive or powerfully manifestational Mercury-Sun meeting, and the Venus-Chiron conjunction bringing themes of healing and self-worth.
And we saw how this plays out collectively, the information surge, travel possibilities, potential political shifts, market notes, and personally, with opportunities in various life areas alongside reminders about discernment and grounding.
Hopefully, this deep dive gives you, our listener, a clearer sense of the potential currents you'll be navigating this week, offering pathways and highlighting areas needing awareness.
Thank you so much for joining us for this exploration of the week ahead.
As we close, let's just reflect on that major theme that kept coming up, the sheer volume and speed of information this week. The potential for both incredible insight and, well, a lot of noise or even deliberate misinformation.
Yeah, that Gemini energy really cuts both ways. So the question to ponder as you move into the week is this. In this environment buzzing with data, ideas, and opinions,
How will you make sure you're tuning into the valuable signals and filtering out the static? How will you discern the knowledge that truly serves you from all the surrounding noise?
something to carry with you. Until next time.